Okay, well here's our figure after we've done our base coat and the wash, and you can see how it's all kind of collected in the recesses. Um, Now we're going to do a little dry brushing to bring out the highlights. So as you can see already, this figure has transformed very nicely. So we'll go ahead and do some dry brushing, and you'll see what I mean when it brings out the highlights. That it really brings figure to life. So let's get started here. We'll start with his face and his hands. We'll use this light flesh color for his face and hands. And when I talk about dry brushing, the idea is you take and you put some paint on this brush, and you basically try to wipe most of it off of your paintbrush. Hence dry brushing. So all you're leaving is a hint of pigment. So we dipped our paint in there, our paintbrush in there, and what we'll do is we'll try to get most of it off this paintbrush. Whereas all we're leaving is paint on the highlights. So if I can get a hold of this thing. Alright, so basically, and I use a wider brush for this because you don't want a small brush in inadvertently getting in all the recesses. So that's why I tend to use a wider brush, and you'll definitely be able to tell the difference when you're done. And it doesn't take, if you're doing one figure, you probably only have to load your brush once and wipe off the excess. But if you're doing a pile of them, say you're doing 7 or 8 figures, if you're doing all the same uniform types, then you can go through like a conveyor line and do the first one all the way through the last one, painting like you want, and you'll find when you get back to the first one, it's dry and ready to go. Now, can you tell? You'll be able to see it a lot closer, but I believe in this, if it ever focuses up, you can see the difference in that figure already from the highlights on his face. You can see that we've done our base coat, and then we did the wash to darken the recesses, and just a dry brush on his face to bring out the highlights, like his eyebrows and his nose and his lips and his cheeks and whatnot. And so far it's coming together pretty good. So as we've done that, next we'll move on to his blue light vest. And since it's a sea color, I think I'm going to use a sea gray or something to highlight that, just to kind of give it a worn look. So we'll go with navy gray number 5. World War II navy colors, but we'll just put a little bit of paint on our paintbrush, and we'll do like we did before, and we'll try to get most of it off. And the idea of dry brushing, which You know, if you wash your brush between colors, make sure that your brush is fairly dry before you try this again, because it'll try to act like a wash if your paintbrush is not dry. So you can have, you know, 3 or 4 paintbrushes out here to do this step if you need to. But I'll just wipe it until it's really dry in a rag or something like that. So paint seems like it's a little thin here, so I'll shake it a little bit more. Alright. Alright, now we'll go back to his uniform, and we'll dry brush some of that gray on here. And it's really starting to bring this thing to life. Let's see. Can you see his vest there? How the dry brushing has brought up the highlights. Got his face and his vest. Now all it's left is his uniform, his shoes, and of course we'll add his helmet, and he'll be done. So we'll see what we can do for his uniform. I'm going to use olive drab yellow tone. I might even use a deck tan. This is a Tamiya color, but it's also an acrylic, so I think this deck tan will probably set it off really nice. So Tamiya colors, they have their pluses and their minuses. I like them if you're gonna paint one coat and let it set and then do it again. But if you think you're gonna go back and paint over top of what you've already done and it's still wet, it seems to me that it drags the other colors off, you know, the rest of your paint. So, but other people may have had better luck with it than I have. That's just what my luck has been with Tamiya. So alright, so as we highlight it, he's really starting to come around there. A very proud member of a PT boat crew. And we'll okay. That's looking pretty sharp, eh? If this thing would quit auto focusing. Here, let's do this. That's crazy. There you go, I hold still. Alright, well, the only thing we got left now is his helmet and his shoes, and he'll be good to go. So, let's see, what color we're going to highlight his shoes. La 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 la. Maybe we'll try this flesh shadow. It looks like a pretty good color for his shoes. And like I said, all we need to do is get a little bit of paint on here and just dry brush over top of it, wipe most of the paint off, and just kind of go back and forth over the areas, and usually when you do that, the paint is almost dry, so it doesn't take that long at all for it to dry up to handle. So I added some straps to a helmet, and the problem with that is it is falling off my table here. So I'll be back as soon as I locate it.